the CBS Evening News. Edie Magnus reporting. Good evening, everyone. Haiti's military police have now abandoned control of the country's second largest city, Cap-Haïtien, after a deadly firefight last night with U.S. Marines that left 10 Haitians dead and 1 American slightly wounded. The U.S. says it was an armed Haitian who fired first, shooting at a U.S. Marine who was approaching a police station. Other Marines fired back. When the gunfire stopped, Marines took control of the area, taking into custody 5 other Haitians. And as the night wore on, the U.S. forces strengthened their hold, as we hear now from Bob Simon in Haiti.
By dawn, the bodies had been removed, the wounded evacuated, and a police headquarters of Cap-Haïtien surrounded by a ring of steel. The Marines controlled the streets. The people were shuttered up behind closed doors. They knew a battle had been fought. They did not know who won. Gradually, they ventured out and seemed very pleased with what they discovered.
All Haitian was cheering. Yes, was cheering.
Before long, the Marines were greeted by a parade of the thankful with offerings, rifles looted from other police offices and army barracks in other parts of town. The people were not waiting for a weapons buyback. They just wanted their city back from the police and the attachés who've terrorized them these past 3 years. They pushed the weapons gingerly towards the Americans so that the Marines would not misunderstand. Not just rifles, grenades, helmets, doors, mattresses, anything that belonged to the enemies of the people. There was also a piece of somebody's skull.
The head of a human being. Now it is no more. That is a souvenir for me. To the American public, I want them to see it.
By mid-morning, the Marines could have launched a street-side second-hand weapons sale. It was a carnival. There was even a bugler and a cheerleader.
Vive la Valace!
Long live la Valace, the Aristide movement, he shouted. Long live the Americans. Then the Marines left, and the people went in. Inside what was to them the headquarters of their oppression. It was the storming of the Bastille. They rifled the drawers, they went to the cells, and then the ultimate act of liberation, they broke down those doors. Retribution was instant. An attaché was captured and paraded around town. It was a day of power to the people of Haiti's second largest city. The revolution had come, brought by the United States Marines.
In Port-au-Prince today, the leader of Haiti's right-wing paramilitary group expressed fears that the violence could come here to the capital and turn against him and his men. Judging from what we've seen in Cap-Haïtien today, those fears seem entirely understandable. Edie?
Bob, is there any sense that this incident will have political implications long-term in Haiti?
Edie, as you may remember, the deal that Jimmy Carter made here, in which President Clinton agreed to, is that General Cedras and his colleagues have the right to stay in Haiti after Aristide comes back. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they're having second thoughts right now.
All right, Bob Simon in Haiti. Thanks so much. There are predictions the bloodshed at Cap-Haïtien was a forerunner of more violence to come, which only makes selling the Haiti mission that much more difficult for the president who insisted on it. Bill Plant has more on that.
The First Family joined some of New York's most powerful Democrats at a Harlem church service that was part campaign rally. Mr. Clinton told the mostly African-American congregation that his Haitian policy is gaining favor.
Although I think more and more Americans are seeing that what we are doing there is good and supports democracy throughout our hemisphere, which is nothing more than saying our neighborhood.
Mr. Clinton released a statement regretting the loss of life in the firefight between U.S. Marines and armed Haitians, but warning that U.S. forces will continue to respond to hostile action. But the administration's Haiti policy doesn't satisfy the House's number 2 Republican. He says Americans don't like having U.S. troops in Haiti.
I don't think they want to wait around for ambushes and for booby traps and for all the things that can go wrong. I think the average American does not defend or support this policy.
Mr. Clinton's policy is under more subtle pressure from the man it's supposed to be helping, exiled President Aristide. He called today for immediate disarmament of Haitian paramilitary forces, not part of the U.S. plan, and for the lifting of sanctions prior to his return. The U.S. ambassador to the UN says humanitarian aid will be speeded by the presence of U.S. troops, but that lifting the sanctions should wait.
There's very strong feeling against that here at the UN. People believe that we should stick by the Security Council resolution.
As for the fate of Haiti's army commander, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff suggested a very practical reason why he thinks General Cedras will leave the country after he steps down from power.
I would be hard-pressed to imagine that a single American soldier would be asked to risk his life to protect General Cedras.
Mr. Clinton plans to play down Haiti when he speaks here tomorrow at the UN to the General Assembly. He will mention it only in passing as a shining example of cooperation between governments. There are plenty of other pressing foreign policy issues. For example, the British and French have threatened to pull their peacekeeping troops out of Bosnia if the U.S. goes ahead and lifts the arms embargo. And that's something that will also come up when Mr. Clinton meets later in the week with President Yeltsin of Russia. Edie?
Bill, is the administration worried about public concern over having troops in Haiti?
Oh, absolutely, Haiti. The support for having them there is razor thin because the American people, for the most part, don't understand what the U.S. troops are supposed to be doing on the ground in Haiti. So if there are casualties beyond a certain limit, the support is likely to evaporate, that whatever there is.
All right, Bill Plant, thanks. Russian leader Yeltsin's flight from Britain touched down in the United States a short time ago. Monica Gale has more about his mission.
Russian President Boris Yeltsin arrived in New York late this afternoon, the first stop in a week-long visit to the U.S., where, among other things, he's expected to discuss investment in Russia and the situation in war-torn Bosnia. Earlier in the day, Yeltsin and British Prime Minister John Major held a joint news conference where they stressed the importance of sticking together to bring about a Bosnian settlement. Both oppose lifting a UN arms embargo against the Bosnian Muslims, something the Clinton administration is considering.
Europe, Russia, and the United States to stay closely together at this time. We wish to preserve the gains that have been made over the past few months.
But U.S. Ambassador Madeleine Albright tried to play down the differences over the division of Bosnia.
We all are determined to have the Bosnian Serbs accept the map. That's what this is still about.
Meanwhile, shots rang out in Sarajevo's Sniper Alley today following last week's Serb attack on a UN vehicle and NATO's retaliatory airstrike on a Serbian tank. The city's airport is closed now, and the Serbs have shut off electric and water lines, threatening once again to strangle the city. Even with the renewed fighting, there are still questions within the Clinton administration about lifting the arms embargo.
The problem with the unilateral lifting of the embargo, which we've stated before and I'll state again, is that it probably widens the war in Bosnia.
President Clinton will meet with Russian President Yeltsin on Monday after they each address the United Nations General Assembly. U.S. intervention in Haiti may have temporarily put Bosnia on hold, but now it appears it may be high on the agenda for both leaders. Monica Gale, CBS News at the United Nations.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, jury selection begins tomorrow in the O.J. Simpson trial. And women's colleges enjoying a big revival in a gender-conscious age.
Choosing a cereal with the perfect balance of taste and nutrition can be tricky, but now there's a choice that's simple. Wait till you taste this. From Healthy Choice and Kellogg, a brand new cereal that combines crunchy oat clusters, plump sweet raisins, and crispy multigrain flakes in a way that tastes so delicious. You know, you could make this choice blindfolded. Introducing Healthy Choice cereals, new from Kellogg's. One taste, and the choice is simple.
You've got to meet a colleague half a world away, so you race through the airport, then fly for half a day. And during that long haul, you get nothing done at all.
Sprint Business had a real solution for Landis & Gyr. Their engineers now use the world's largest video conferencing network to work together more effectively.
Sprint's helping us create better ideas for our customers, which is making us more successful. And that's why we're in business in the first place.
Call Sprint Business. We help business do more business.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
When the food you love doesn't love you back, try new Maalox assorted tablets. 3 tasty flavors in one handy bottle. Maalox assorted tablets. Ah, life is good.
Jury selection begins tomorrow in the double murder trial of O.J. Simpson. Finding jurors capable of making an impartial judgment in the face of saturation media coverage of the crime will not be an easy task, as Reed Galen reports from Los Angeles.
On the eve of his trial, O.J. Simpson is said to be trusting in divine judgment.
He's praying for a friend of his that's have cancer. You know, to reach out to touch someone else's life is investing in your own life.
But Simpson's attorneys and prosecutors will be trying to stack the legal deck as they begin selecting jurors tomorrow.
People who are well-read and have higher education seem to be much more critical of the defense and, in fact, believe the science. The defense jurors need to be, first, people who are very sensitive to race. They need to be people who believe conspiracy theories exist.
The judge will tell prospective jurors this.
Because evidence is not evidence until it comes from here.
But the so-called court of public opinion has been in session since police first slapped handcuffs on O.J. Simpson.
Oh, man.
With the entire nation turned audience, the court must now find a select few people yet to form indelible images and opinions in a city where all other public business now operates in the shadow of O.J. Simpson.
I mean, my mother won't go to the bathroom until there's a break in the action. It's really amazing.
Satellite and live transmission trucks fill the parking lot. The media presence here, in fact, towers over the courthouse. Literally, these 4-story platforms were built for the cameras. The intense media and public interest in this case has so concerned the judge that 1,000 people have been called as prospective jurors.
Sometimes lawyers nitpick to death, but in this case, there is a host of problems dealing with the media, the notoriety, the racial aspects, that I think really dictates a very careful and deliberate jury selection process for both sides.
There may be those who see an opportunity to make a statement or money telling their story later on. And jurors must be willing to perhaps be sequestered, cut off from family and job for an estimated 6 months. It may take a month just to pick the people who will judge O.J. Simpson. Reed Galen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Public fascination with the Simpson murder case is not just an American phenomenon. It's already reaching far beyond our shores. From London, Cindy Kennard has that part of the story.
From the sky. The circus that has surrounded the O.J. Simpson trial in America has now gone international.
Ex-football star O.J. Simpson.
England has its own documentaries and specials on the evening news, even pushy British reporters eager to get their piece of the story.
In London, we wouldn't have any pre-trial publicity. How would you feel about that?
I'm moving to London. That won't help because next up, weekly trial wrap-ups on the BBC. Brits who liked Dallas and JR love this new American saga.
Every character that comes up is like something out of central casting. There's Cato, there's OJ, there's the family, there's Nicole. It's all sorts of things about America that you've seen in fiction and now you can see in real life.
In Europe, they are fascinated with America's fascination with Simpson and wonder why the U.S. is obsessed with what the Italians now call OJ, the man with 2 lives.
It's a big story here. Yes, I know.
It would be in France, too, only the French are fixed on their own sensational murder case. Still, the economics of the story are attractive enough that a Paris bar is selling a special new cocktail.
Dark rum, Cointreau, and OJ. Plain OJ.
And one computer company is cashing in. It convinced Simpson's lawyers to use their software in the courtroom.
We're on the launch pad for some fairly major international success, so it's
because of OJ.
Because of OJ, yeah, no question. I mean, this trial really is doing it for us.
These days, you can hardly escape O.J. Simpson overseas. Most know who he is. Some have a bit of trouble understanding exactly what he's accused of doing.
O.J. Simpson already killed women.
Those questions will soon have answers as the world prepares to watch what's being billed over here as the trial of the century. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, London.
Attention heartburn sufferers.
If antacids work, why do I keep getting heartburn?
You know, frequent heartburn may be a sign of a more serious medical problem. Your doctor has treatment plans that can help.
Frequent heartburn. Isn't it time you talk to your doctor?
Ready? Get him! Let's make it really cool.
Leave it to Delta to make a stylish faucet.
Awesome!
It's practical, too. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Is the gray in your mustache or beard making you look too old? Now there's Just for Men Brush-In Color Gel, specially for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. This brush-in gel stays put to penetrate hard-to-color hair. In 5 minutes, rinse. Your mustache or beard blends with your natural hair color, and it won't fade or wash out.
Now that's a lot better.
Just for Men Color Gel, from the leader in men's hair coloring.
Charlie comes to play with the enthusiasm of a 20-year-old, the drive of a 30-year-old, but the body aches and minor arthritic pain of a 40-year-old. That's why Charlie uses the wonder drug, Bayer aspirin, not Tylenol. See, both relieve pain, but taken regularly, Bayer even relieves the inflammation of arthritis. Just ask your doctor.
The old man's back. Give me the ball. Showtime, Charlie. Showtime. Let's go.
Hey, you get older, you get smarter. You get Bayer.
He was a juror on the Wayne Williams murder trial. That notorious case was tough on the jury. How tough?
There was a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. It was very difficult.
How will that pressure affect the lives of jurors in the Simpson case? Eye on America tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Health officials in India say an outbreak of pneumonic plague that's killed at least 51 people in the western city of Surat is easing. However, there are fears that people who fled Surat may spread the disease. And U.S. health officials are now monitoring airports in this country to identify possible plague victims arriving from India. An American college student who was studying in Moscow will be buried Tuesday in Glastonbury, Connecticut. Exactly how he died so far from home is still unclear, but some suspect it was murder. More from Moscow correspondent Tom Fenton.
Anthony Riccio's blood is still on the pavement, and the mystery of how he fell Tuesday from the 16th story of his Moscow dormitory is still unsolved. Police say a rope was found around his neck, possibly indicating suicide. But there's speculation the 21-year-old junior from Brown University was murdered by Russian gangsters living in the dorm.
We all feel terrible for the student who died, and it's pretty scary because it's pretty close to us.
Most of the victims of the recent wave of gangland killings in Moscow have been wealthy Russian businessmen. Westerners have rarely been targeted.
I don't see any reason that students would be targeted because we don't have money. I mean, there's enough high-profile business figures.
Anthony's body was flown back to the United States Saturday, where his father has arranged for a second autopsy.
If it was self-inflicted, then Anthony needs more love than ever from all of us. If it was murder, then the person who perpetrated the murder needs more love from us.
Back in Moscow, American students at the university where Riccio studied say they intend to stay on.
I just feel that, we're in no more danger now than we were when we got off the plane. You've got to keep your street smarts about you.
Anthony's unexplained death has sharpened that feeling.
Right now, I feel the same amount of danger, I think, that I would feel in a big city in America.
Tomorrow, police will begin questioning students in an effort to unravel the mystery. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Moscow.
Do you question your bladder control protection? The answer is new technology from Attens that you can sample for free.
What makes it so new?
Only new Attens has perma-dry fibers woven in to absorb faster.
Really?
To see for yourself, call 1-800-ATTENS now for a free sample by mail.
Do you have the right kind of protection for me?
Ask for a pad, guard, undergarment, or brief. We'll help you choose the right size.
Great.
Call for a free sample today and look for a TENS in the store.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation of zigging and zagging my Porsche through the Alps in winter. Downshifting. Yes, upshifting.
York peppermint patty. Get the sensation.
What do people think of these Sunsweet orange and lemon essence pitted prunes?
I love lemons.
So they smell like oranges.
I like these a lot.
Orange essence excites me.
Lemon flavored prunes?
They're wonderful.
These are really good.
What did Barbara Mandrell think?
Actually, I love them both.
Okay, Daddy's turn to eat. Mommy said, try Crispix. It doesn't get soggy in milk. Yeah, Mommy is funny. Okay, so it starts crispy. Big deal, huh? Well, like childhood, this won't last.
Kellogg's Crispix cereal. Delicious corn and rice that stays crispy to the end.
Last bite. This should be mushy enough for you. Hey, it's still crispy. You're gonna love this stuff. Of course, you're gonna need teeth first. That means orthodontist.
After decades of decline, women's colleges are enjoying a surge in popularity. In the past 3 years alone, applications to them have risen 32%. And that's tonight's Sunday Cover, why so many of today's young women are choosing not to go co-ed. This fall means big changes for 18-year-old Christy Smith. She's starting college.
Do you check in first or do you leave the stuff on the sidewalk? I don't even know.
And as a freshman at Wellesley outside Boston, Christy's part of the changing times. Women in record numbers are choosing single-sex colleges.
My sense of it is that there is a new realization that the feminist revolution isn't over yet.
And so today we'll start with the life of old Nate Hawthorne.
It's a revival fostered in part by a 1992 report on gender bias. A study by the American Association of University Women found girls do not get the same quality of education that boys do in co-ed classrooms.
Males get more attention, more precise attention, more encouragement. They're more likely to call out. They're more likely to be heard.
The lack of notice is why Susanna Kirk says she dropped out of Harvard. Now a junior, she's enrolled at Tiny Hollins College, a women's school in Roanoke, Virginia.
I've spoken more in the 2 weeks since I got here than I ever spoke when I was at Harvard.
This year's freshman class at Hollins is its largest in 15 years. The school's president, Maggie O'Brien, says some credit for the popularity in women's colleges goes to Hillary Rodham Clinton, a Wellesley graduate.
Whether you like her style or not, she has been very successful.
It's definitely important for us to have female role models because you know that there are no boundaries for your achievement. Okay, play ready?
Plays on.
The sudden interest in single-sex liberal arts schools follows years of decline for many. Since 1960, 2/3 of them have either closed or gone co-ed. Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York, chose the latter course in 1969.
I think Vassar saw an opportunity to create a new kind of coeducation. We live, after all, in a coeducational world, and it's very important for our young women to know that they can lead men as well as women.
It's not going to be the end solution to have everyone segregated by sex throughout the United States of America, because we need to learn to live together, work together, yes, in fact, compete together.
Single-sex schools are not a panacea for gender bias, nor are they for everyone. But for young women like Christy Smith, who want an education where they feel they're the priority, a women's college can quickly feel like home.
I think that this was really definitely the best choice, and I know that every day I know it more, and I'm just very happy to be here.
Girls of elementary and secondary school age and their families are also more interested in single-sex education. The National Coalition of Girls' Schools reports a 15% increase in applications over the past 3 years.
If you want 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals from your cereal, try Total. Because to try to get that from Corn Flakes, you're going to have to add more than just milk.
Like what?
Well, maybe you could start with these. Huh? Whole grain Total. One bowl, 100%.
I'll try the Total.
Some nights, my husband Ben is out there for hours, in spite of his minor arthritis pain. When he has a flare-up, he takes Advil. For minor arthritis pain, doctors recommend Advil most. and nothing's been proven to last longer. He says Advil lets him get back to doing what he loves. And without the pain, he sleeps better. Says he wakes up feeling ready for another day. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
You run a great place to visit, so lots of people call, but the people taking orders can't keep up at all. When customers hear, "Please hold," what you're selling goes unsold.
Sprint Business had a real solution for Taos Valley Resorts. Enhanced 800 service reroutes calls instantly, so every customer hears
Taos Valley Resorts.
Sprint helped us increase reservations, so we're seeing more profits. And that's why I'm in business in the first place.
Call Sprint Business. We help business do more business.
When the food you love doesn't love you back, try new Maalox assorted tablets. 3 tasty flavors in one handy bottle. Maalox assorted tablets. Life is good.
Next year, the Smithsonian Institution plans to exhibit the plane that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. And that exhibit is already the center of a political uproar. On Friday, the U.S. Senate passed a resolution asking the museum to show sensitivity for America's Pacific War veterans. Jim Stewart reports on the political storm clouds surrounding the Enola Gay.
This is the Enola Gay, the aircraft that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima.
In fact, this is only a 60-foot section of the Enola Gay's fuselage, now in the final stages of refurbishment before entering the Smithsonian Institute.
The old B-29 will be put on display here at the Air and Space Museum next May as part of the 50th anniversary of the dropping of the first atom bomb. But its exhibit is proving to be no less controversial than its mission.
The Smithsonian originally wanted to showcase the Enola Gay's historic flight in a display exploring the use of the bomb in ending World War II. It was an act the museum originally intended to describe as one of vengeance by America against a people defending their unique culture. And that wording outraged veterans groups.
The Enola Gay and World War II are being used as political props to make a statement on nuclear warfare. It is not being used to show the sacrifices that American veterans and America as a whole made during the war.
The Smithsonian quickly relented.
Rather than revising history, we thought we would be able to present it in the language of the people at the time, and that backfired. It just didn't work out.
But the controversy didn't end there. To placate critics, the Smithsonian added another exhibit dedicated to U.S. soldiers in the Pacific War. But now veterans are nitpicking the whole thing, even counting the number of Japanese casualty photos versus those of U.S. casualties.
Show history the way history happened. It's all we're asking.
It was modified.
Tourists sneaking an early peek of the Enola Gay said the sight of her alone speaks louder than any museum sign.
Feeling very serious, very serious.
Decisions that were made 50 years ago can't be second-guessed.
And neither, say Smithsonian critics, should they be rewritten. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
And that's the news. Stay tuned for 60 Minutes and later join Bill Plant with the CBS Sunday Night News. I'm Edie Magnus, CBS News, New York. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
You don't hear much about black power anymore, but you do hear a lot about the Black Caucus. How much black power does the Black Caucus have? 60 Minutes tonight. This is CBS.